Welcome to the Loving Forward podcast. My name is Ol, and this container is for those who go beyond the surface. Here we speak to the depths of the human experience, honoring all parts, especially the ones we were taught to deny, disown, and repress. No scripted version, no spiritual performance, only the honest, embodied human experience. We explore love, connection, understanding in a wide spectrum of healing modalities, not as things to master, but as practices in service of freedom. This isn't about fixing yourself, it's about remembering yourself, becoming more alive, and integrating that vitality into every moment. If you're curious about what it truly means to heal in both the profound and the mundane, then you're in the right place. I welcome you with all my heart. I'm grateful you're here. Let's jump in. Hello. Hi. It's me. It's Jacob, your friendly neighborhood breathwork and shadow work facilitator and guide. Maybe that sounds very silly. But we all got a friendly neighborhood something, don't we? Friendly neighborhood mechanic, donut shop guy, friendly neighborhood weirdo, which I might fall into that category too. But anyways, I'm here, and I'm here for, I think, a specific reason. The reason seems to be that I want to update everybody on what's happening here. Update the Loving Forward community. Give you some behind the scenes stuff. Insight. So, I've been finding more balance in my life, in my work. Finding that I love doing podcasts. I absolutely love it. It's such a joy, such a treat. And it takes a lot of time. So I'm not saying that I'm breaking up with podcasting, but I am saying that naturally I'm seeing this decrease in energy towards maintaining a weekly podcast offering. And at first was feeling kind of like, oh. And then the second feeling was kind of like, frick yeah, that's a relief. And then back to another feeling of just being like, but I want to keep doing that. So what is a healthy relationship to podcasting look like? And it's looking like maybe every 2 weeks is going to be an episode, which feels like a relief. I can feel the relief right now. We're going to do every 2 weeks. We're going to have awesome guests every time. And, we've already had awesome guests. We'll have some returners and new people, new folks. It almost feels like right now I'm, sort of closing a chapter. And I wanted to talk about this because there is a chapter that's closing. I'm going on a trip to Guatemala for 2 weeks. This trip feels almost dire. And I know that is so privileged and first world. And I understand that I have so much access to just healing and tools that help me feel balanced and resourced and healthy. But there's something else that I think is conducive to health and rejuvenation, and that is getting out of the comfort of your everyday life, getting out of your normal habituated patterns and environment, and going somewhere new, immersing yourself in a new culture around people who do things differently. That seems to do several things. One is it puts you so deeply in the present moment, as you should be, because you kind of got to be on. You got to be aware what's happening around me. Am I safe? Am I like doing anything wrong that might be considered wrong in a different culture? How am I presenting myself in this environment? What is that over there? That's a cool thing. Is that a bird I've never ever seen in my life before? Is that a bug I've never seen? It's just all this stuff all these factors to take into consideration when you're traveling somewhere new, somewhere different, somewhere exotic. So really, all these factors bring you to what's right in front of you in the present moment. So that's really great, and I need that. And it turns up the travel also turns up the magic dial all the way up. It's like the way that the world and life can be so magical all the time. That's certainly true all the time, no matter where you are. It is. But there's this thing that happens psychologically where what we get used to seems to lose its magic. That's why they say in Zen Buddhism, Zen mind, beginner's mind. And so, in traveling, the magic is dialed all the way up because you're seeing everything as if it's the first time you've ever seen something. And you're also much more aware of little synchronicities and signs, especially if you don't have an agenda. Maybe you overheard someone mention this cool place or this live music show or something like that, and you're like, oh wow, there's a thread now to follow, and I'm gonna follow it and see what happens. Sometimes even like the shapes that your coffee grounds make in your mug can direct you in a really interesting, exciting way. And so just travel is like that. And I've had the privilege to travel abroad in Thailand, and it was just hugely expansive. My perspective grew. I saw humans doing human things in a different way, or just being a human in a different way, and it really made me realize, like, oh, the US way is not the only way. And how do I integrate what I just saw here in this system that so different from so many countries? So there's that. So we have the presence, the magic, and the disconnection. I'm if you followed me, you know I'm all about connection. That is one of the main reasons I'm here, and one of the main reasons I think we're all here is to connect with ourselves and with each other and with all of nature and the whole universe even. But disconnection is actually really important here. It's a great thing in traveling, because I'm now disconnected from whatever it is I choose to disconnect from. Really, I mean, we're disconnected from our normal environment, and I'm also deciding to disconnect from my normal habits, such as social media, Moon Mountain Healing, Loving Forward podcast, like all these patterns and just those ways of relating to these things are about to just be totally severed, intentionally. And that's really hard. I can feel so much resistance to this. There's two things happening where I see the desire for this. I see this clear golden light in me that says yes, that's right. You must do that. Follow that. And then the somewhat darker energy that's saying no, you can't. And it's just trying to pump out all these fears. All these fears. And it's trying to justify why I can't. Trying to convince me I'm doing everything I can to assuage those fears and to basically just reduce them as much as I can before I leave for this trip, and can just feel even more free because I've made this content that's set myself up for success. So that's why I'm here. I want to inform anybody who listens to this on what's happening. I'm taking a break. Chapter is closing. And that chapter also it includes 9 months, 10 months maybe of intense work, hard work to build what you may see now. And that's Moon Mountain Healing with all its awesome offerings, and the Loving Forward community with weekly newsletters and blog posts and content on social media. Yeah, it's just there's a lot. When I really stop and think about how much I'm producing and generating, it's a lot. And we're gonna close that chapter so that I can go on this trip, restore, recharge, revitalize, reset, and come back with an opportunity to develop a healthier balance in my life. I'm hiring some new support to help with that. So got some things in the works to just make create my life, scaffold my life so that it supports me, supports my family, and it supports my community, and just is in harmony with all of life. It sounds big, but I really believe it's possible, and that I deserve it, and that everyone deserves it. I'm here to do big work, and I'm not saying that lightly. I'm here to help people. I'm here to raise consciousness, and I'm here to support people as they work through their stuff, work through their traumas, work through their shadows, work through their discomfort in their body, blockages, stuck places, get energy moving again. That's what I'm here to do. It's what I had people help me with. And I have certain gifts that indicate that this is what I'm here to do. So I'm really grateful for that. And it's funny, like, thinking about my wounds and my traumas and relationships that I grew up with that contributed to just unhealthy things, healthy traits. And it's weird. I say it's weird because I actually see some of these traits that I developed now as part of my gifts. One was that I became a space holder very young for my family members, and it was like an emotional processing sort of space holding. And as a kid, it's inappropriate. But it's just something that naturally happened. I just had that proclivity to holding that kind of space and processing emotions with people, processing hard things, and not wavering in the face of crying or distress or shaking, convulsing, or just any big emotions. It's really incredible to think about it, actually. And so I'm learning that is my wounds, and it's also my gifts, and I give because of that wound, and because of those relationships, and just learning about love and how I was, I gained love by taking on these attributes and these traits. So there's a inner child in me that just wants to give more than he's got, so that he can either get more love or not lose what love he has. So I'm working with that. I'm really, really working with that, being in this role, supporting people. I support people in containers, and I support people outside of containers. And I remember my teacher saying that that's going to be my big homework. That's my big integration piece of work is to learn how to give less of myself. And man, I really haven't integrated that totally. I'm still learning that. And so that's what's also I'm hoping to close in this chapter, is the giving too much of myself and coming back and feeling more confident in just my presence, in my craft, in my offerings, which will then mean I don't have to give 150% to this. I can actually just give my all, my presence, and know that that's enough. And I do feel like this last breathwork session that I just had, that is the last one before going on this trip, it felt more aligned with that. So it's perfect timing. I just love the unfolding here. And I hope it inspires others to stay on their path and keep learning yourself, because it really does make the biggest difference in the world. You knowing yourself. Just that simple thing alone can make a huge difference in your life, in your relationships, in your work. in the world. So I'm just naming all that, and I'm so excited for this trip and the adventure and the rest that's to come. Going to be in Guatemala, so Mayan culture is really present, and that's a rich, deep culture, incredibly rich, unfathomably rich, and just ready to dive into that and really just bask in that energy. And I got 4 new books that I'm starting. One is called The Tao of Trauma. Another one is To Be a Man. Another one is called The Web That Has No Weaver. And the last one is Transformation Through Intimacy. And I'll do a video on these books and the books that I just got done reading. I tend to read 3 to 5 books at a time. It takes me longer to finish the books, but I tend to finish them all in unison. And it's transformative. It's like when I start these books, I'm one version of myself. And by the time I finish them all, I'm just like, I've changed so much. I've grown so much. It's just an interesting thing. So all these last round of books I started in November, and now it's April. So it takes a few months, and it's worth it. So I'm excited to see what sort of transformation happens with these new books. But I definitely know I'm going to read through a bunch with this trip coming up. And I'm so excited about that. One more thing I want to name. There might be more things I want to name, but right now I certainly want to name the group program that I'm offering, which is called The Breath of Awakening. This is a 6-week group program in person here in Eugene, Oregon. And the intention is to do deep transformational work through this long-form breathwork practice that I offer. And I want to help people develop their relationship to breathwork in a way that creates the new habit, and a new tool to work with in their everyday life. I use breathwork every day, every single day, and I have essentially 4, maybe 5 different techniques that I use interchangeably every day. And that's all dependent on like what kind of state shift I'm wanting to make. It's dependent on what my nervous system feels in that moment. Sometimes, I have the nervous system regulating breathwork techniques. I have the stuck energy breathwork techniques, the ones it's like I need to get some energy moving and feel energized. We have those all within these 4 or 5 different breathing styles. And so I want to help people recognize how simple it is to lead your own breathwork at home and how quick it can be. And how important it is, and how it'll make a huge change in your life if you were to wake up and do breath work every single day, or if you were to do breath work instead of go for that 4th or 5th cup of coffee, or if you were to do breath work instead of, drinking alcohol. It's just all these techniques have the same sort of interaction with our brain chemistry, and can create these states that we usually get from external things. So that's really beautiful and exciting, and I really just have that desire to give this to people. So if you're in Eugene, Oregon, and you're interested in that kind of stuff, or someone who's interested in breath work and the group container work, please reach out. I have a lot of people interested in it, but no one has signed up yet. That begins on May 21st. It's on Thursday. And I'm not going to go into explaining it all right now. Just go on my website, moonmountainhealing.com, in the programs tab and look it up. And reach out if you're interested. I'm going to be doing a free live breathwork experience webinar on the 7th of May and the 14th of May. So that's where you can come and experience breathwork and learn some things about, we'll go into rudimentary things about breathwork. You can learn some stuff. You can take home a new tool, and we'll do a longer form breathwork practice, long form breathwork practice as well. So you'll learn a lot, and you'll get something really powerful out of it. We'll also do some Q&A about the breath of awakening and just breathwork in general. I mean, this isn't just for people who are here in Eugene. This is for anybody who's interested in breathwork, who wants to work with somebody in that practice, during that practice. So yeah, it's like huge. It's really helpful to have somebody with you and support you, learn you, and it just really accelerates things. So I think that's all I need to say about that. We are, wow, I'm remembering some more things. Myself, my co-facilitator for Root and Rise in Brotherhood, the men's group that happens every first and third Wednesday here in Eugene, Oregon, and a dear brother of mine who's been on the podcast, Dustin is his name. We are in the middle or at the beginning stage of creating I think a 7 to 9 week men's work program. And here in Eugene, we want to create a program that is conducive to the deepest work that is available, internal work, shadow work, somatic work, and have that be done and held and supported in a group container of men. So we're looking at around like 7 to 10 men, I think is what we're thinking. And it's sort of based on my experience with Luke Adler and Jason Lang's Heart of Shadow, which was the best, most transformational program I had ever come in contact with, and one that I think a lot of people have come in contact with. It is any words just makes it understated. Dustin and I are on the path to keep learning from Jason and Luke. However, we are ready. We have everything we need. I have everything I need. Dustin has everything he needs. Oak has everything he needs to support men in that type of way, where we create a safe container for men to feel the things that we've repressed for so long, maybe our whole life. Connect with our inner child, our inner critic, all the dark, gross, messy, crunchy energies that live inside of us and in our heads. So we have everything we need to support men in that. And we have this program where week after week we'll meet in person and we'll invite deep work to happen and have this ongoing container to support people in integrating what happens there. Then we'll have a retreat about the 6th week, I think is what it was. 6th week, and then that's a weekend retreat where we go deeper, and it's a whole weekend experience of connecting with each other, connecting with nature, connecting with self, disconnecting, like I said earlier, like disconnecting from everything else. That's just, it's so funny. It's like, I love connecting. That's all I want to do. And sometimes disconnecting is just as appropriate. So there's that. And so if you're a man in Eugene, Oregon, and that sounds interesting, please reach out. The intention is for when the program ends, that the group can continue on as a closed men's group. That's the ultimate goal. That's what we were given with Jason and Luke's program. I've been meeting with my group for 4 years or however long it's been since the program ended. And it's been just an integral part of my growth and healing and just like honing in the practice, right? The fruit, the things that happen in that container where I not only learn how to speak about the smallest of issues in my life, but also bring forth to people who've seen the darkest parts of me. I can bring forth even bigger stuff that I wouldn't bring forth in other containers or contexts. And that's just incredibly important. So that is that. And I want to keep doing one-on-one breath work and shadow work. I want to do more of it. So please reach out. Those offerings are just becoming more and more refined and understood of like the value of it. And I love the breath work. The breath work is this tool that clears our energy field. It clears these stuck places, these blocked places in our bodies. But the one thing about breath work is sometimes we don't know what it is we're releasing. And there's something important about understanding what that is. You know, we created the space for energy to flow, but because we don't understand what was in the way of that space, it can easily come back and you can be right back where you were when you started. And that may not be true if you were to see me regularly for breath work. You know, we could have a specific thing we're working on, and it might be all the way cleared, but that's because of that consistency and that level of understanding of like what it is exactly we're working with here. So it could happen in breath work, but my sense and the sense of my teachers is that shadow work is the best way to learn yourself, know thyself. And we're going deeper than other therapeutic modalities do. We're going beneath the surface. I mean, I know there's other therapeutic modalities that are doing that, but such as IFS, that's a really close comparison. But we want to get to the root of why we do what we do, roots of our patternings, our behaviors, our compulsions. I think there's a band practicing next to me. You might hear it. I just heard a flute or a saxophone start. Anyways, yeah, so we're getting to the roots of why we do what we do. Our conditioning, and it goes even deeper, actually. We can get into ancestral conditioning and expression, gene expression. It's just endless, and it's just constantly rich and informative, simple, profound. It's deep, it's big. It's whatever the client, the practitioner wants it to be. So we co-create it, and we co-create the program essentially. Like what we're trying to do, we map it out. Okay, we're working mostly with the inner child. Okay, how is the inner child showing up the most in your life? When do they take over? What situations trigger that? You know, we can really get so intimately connected with that so that when it comes up in real time, you know it on a deep, like connecting level. And you can get the sense of like, I'm not this. This isn't me right now in this present moment. that's online. This is a younger part of me. And I can relate to you, but I'm not you. I'm an adult who can take care of this situation. This is not a life or death situation. So I've benefited so much from just the inner child work that happens in shadow work, because a lot of it is inner child work. A lot of these things, this programming, this conditioning, this all originated in our childhood experiences, the environment, the people around us, interjected things into us, beliefs, and serious trauma, serious woundings that we work with in shadow work. It's a lot. A lot of it's just energy that needs to be connected to, felt, and moved consciously. And it's a deeply somatic experience, as well as a spiritually mind-blowing, expansive experience. Some of the most spiritual experiences I've ever had has been through doing deep shadow work and connecting with my sacred rage or my grateful grief and just other powerful, necessary emotions. Yeah, so, and I'm nervous system aware, I'm trauma informed. So we really honor the nervous system's pace in this process. We're not going to go too much too fast. And we're also going to trust the process. Trust that the individual, the client, is the expert of them and knows exactly what is right for them. I've had times in sessions where I offer something and it might not be the right time. It might be something that I'm attuned to is a part of the work we're here to do, but maybe it's not the right timing. And I don't know that. Only the person receiving that knows that. And they say, no, I'm not willing to go there. And I say, that's great. It's perfect. We move on. So it is a choice-based practice. And we just, it can be fun. It can be super fun. It could be one of those things too. I've seen people sort of have those aha moments of like, wow, that's why I do what I do. That's why I do that thing. Like, what the heck? It's just really helpful to have an outside perspective that can look beneath the surface, look underneath what is being stated or expressed, and almost like understand how the shadow could influence judgments and thoughts and reactions that are totally different or opposite to what the shadow is actually wanting and needing. Yeah, that's one thing. And then just realizing too, it's like, oh, I for example, the projections and judgments thing, it's like I realize, oh, when I make a judgment about a person and it's got a lot of charge, I actually recognize that I do that thing. I do that. Maybe that's why I'm getting so charged about it. Isn't that something? So that's breath work, or that's shadow work. And I'm so incredibly passionate about that. I'm just going to keep learning that. Just going to keep learning shadow work for the rest of my life. But it's what I want to do. That's the way I want to be of service to people. So if that sounds interesting, please reach out to me directly. That can happen in person here in Eugene, Oregon, or online anywhere in the world. So Okay, so I'm going to end it there. I'm getting tired. That's my update. We're going to come out on the other side of Guatemala with a new sense of energy and vitality and clarity that's will be in higher service to all. And I'm really excited about it. But until then, I'm going to disconnect from everything that I know so that I can connect deeply with where I will be and my center. Yeah, clarity is awaiting me. What a treat. What a life. What a gift. Thank you guys for being a part of it. And I hope that you're doing well. Hope you feel resourced. Hope you have all your needs met. And I hope you find a comfortable place to breathe. That's what I think I'm going to do now. All right. Blessings to you all. Keep loving forward. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye. Thank you for spending your time with us at the Loving Forward podcast. I appreciate your presence, your attention, and your willingness to be curious while swimming in the mystery. If something in this episode resonated with you and you feel a call to explore your own healing work, I offer both in-person and online sessions in shadow work and breath work. I also lead in-person men's groups here in Eugene, Oregon, and I would love to have you join us. You can find all of this on my website and stay up to date on current offerings and my latest ponderings on Facebook and Instagram. The website and handles are in the description. These practices support nervous system regulation, emotional integration, and a more honest, embodied relationship with yourself and others. You're welcome to reach out, ask questions, or take the next step when it feels right for you. Contact information is in the description. Until then, keep listening to your body, keep honoring your truth, and keep loving forward as best you can. And so it is.